All right, in this video, I'm going to go through the basics of graphing an exponential equation. So we'll start with something like y equals 2 to the x power. We remember that exponents tell us to multiply that many copies of the number. So 3 to the 4th power would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which if you simplify that equals 81. When we're graphing, we're just going to plug in a few points to get the basic idea of the shape of the graph. We actually only have to plug in 3 for most graphs to know what they're going to look like. And so we're going to use -1, 0, and 1. So -1 is going to be the hardest one, so we'll start with that one last. We'll actually go from the bottom up. So if I let x equal 2, or rather let x equal 1, then I'll get this, and anything to the 1 power is just itself. So 2 to the 1st power is just 2. Plugging in 0, and this is just a thing that you need to know, anything to the 0 power equals 1. And then when you get the negative power, what that does is it tells you to divide by the number rather than multiply. So this will become 1 divided by 2. Okay, you'll take what's called the reciprocal of the number. Okay, so we get 1/2. And now graphing that, okay, -1 and 1, and then at 0, it'll be 1. Right, so now I'm just taking these and graphing them as ordered pairs. At -1, it'll be y equals 1/2, and at +1, y equals 2. All right, and the graph is going to look like this. It's going to grow really fast, and then it's in this direction, it's just going to kind of like level out to 0. Right, and you can see how graphing the 3 points gave us the shape. So that's all we really needed. Right, it's a little different with a fraction, but we'll do the same thing. Okay, so if we need to, we'll write it down. And eventually, you probably could do this in your head, or you could also use a calculator. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so right away we get that. And anything to the 1 power is just itself. It doesn't change. So to the 1/4, or rather just 1/4. And then anything to the -1 power, again, we take the reciprocal. And so 1/4 is just going to turn into 4. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and graph. So -1 and 1, and then 1, 0, 1/4 is like down here, and 4 is way up here. And then we'll plot our points. Okay, and this time the graph is going to go down this way. Okay, so it's either going to look like this or it's going to look like this, and the way you draw the points can tell you which one it is. All right, we'll do 2 more examples. These are a little trickier. Okay, when there's a number in front, something like 4 times 3 to the x, then we need to follow order of operations. Okay, so we'll start by writing it down. Order of operations, remember PEMDAS, so the exponent comes first. Okay, so we'll come back to -1, but let's start with 0. Okay, anything to the 0 power is just 1. And then we want to multiply, right? So do the exponent and then multiply. And that's our answer. Okay, same thing. 3 to the 1st power is just 3. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, the negative power is a little more confusing because you're going to get a fraction, but okay, so this will become 1/3. And then to multiply that, that just becomes 4/3. And now we go ahead and graph. Okay, so we do the exponent, then we multiply. Okay, so we just put our y values, and then this one's gonna grow. So it's gonna go from low to high, like so. Your graph doesn't need to be perfect, just the points are what matter. All right, one final example. we would do 8 times 1/2 to the negative 1, 8 times 1/2 to the 0, 8 times 1/2 to the 1. And again, anything to the negative 1 means take the reciprocal, so this is going to become 8 times 2, which equals 16. And anything to the 0 power is 1. Right? So this whole thing just kind of like goes away, just becomes 1, and that becomes 8. And then anything to the first power is itself. And 8 times 1/2 is 4, right? Half of 8. And go ahead and graph, and this one's going to go down from left to right. It's going to decay, we say. 4, 8, and 16. And that is all there is to it. All right, so now you can try the assignment. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email and I'll do the best I can to help you. Thanks.